All right, let's talk about network threats. But forget the loud, flashy stuff you see in movies. Today, we're going deep. We're hunting for the invisible threats, the ones that are already inside your network. We're talking about hidden protocols. This is a whole different ballgame, less like a battering ram and more like a ghost in the machine. So let's dive in.
Wow, yeah, this quote, it really just cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? For years, we've been taught to trust those labels. Oh, that's DNS traffic? Okay, cool. That's ICMP? No big deal. But what if it's all just a costume? What if something malicious is hiding underneath? That question right there is probably one of the biggest challenges in cybersecurity today. So let's start with the core problem here. You know, all those old playbooks we had for defending our networks? Well, they're becoming dangerously obsolete. The biggest assumption we used to make, that an attack would actually look like an attack, just doesn't hold up anymore.
And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, that's the old way. Think brute force. Loud alarms, obvious break-in attempts on weird ports. All our security tools were designed for exactly this kind of noise. But now, look at the right side, the new reality. It's quiet, it's sneaky, it's like a chameleon. Attackers aren't kicking down the front door anymore. Nah, they're just slipping in through the mail slot, disguised as everyday traffic.
This brings up the big question, right? How on earth are they pulling this off? How do they become invisible? Well, the answer is kind of brilliant and also completely terrifying. They're wrapping up their malicious traffic and hiding it inside the protocols we totally depend on and trust every single day.
The fancy term for this trick is protocol encapsulation. But honestly, the idea behind it is super simple. Think about it like this. You write a secret letter, you stick it inside a totally normal-looking business envelope, and you mail it. The post office, they don't see the secret message, they just see the envelope and deliver it. That is precisely what attackers are doing with their data.
And this is what that deception looks like in practice. Your firewall, your big tough security guard at the gate, sees this friendly-looking package come along. It looks legit, so thumbs up, it lets it right through. It has absolutely no clue that inside that harmless-looking box, there's a bad guy either sneaking your data out or smuggling their own secret instructions in.
So what's the end game here? What does all this encapsulation actually create? Well, attackers build what we call covert channels. And you can think of these as their own private, secret highways built right on top of your network. It lets them move their stuff around without anyone even knowing they're there.
And you know what their favorite building materials for these secret highways are? Good old DNS and ICMP. So why those two? Simple. They are absolutely fundamental to how the internet even works. Just about every network on the planet lets that traffic pass through without a second glance. They are quite literally the perfect Trojan horse.
Let's make this even clearer with DNS tunneling, using this postcard analogy. So step 1, the attacker takes a little piece of secret data and writes it in code on a postcard. That postcard is really just a DNS request. Step 2, your network is the mailman. It sees the address, doesn't care about the message, and just delivers the postcard. And finally, step 3, the attacker's server gets the postcard, reads the coded message, and gets the secret info. Simple, effective, and man, is it hard to spot.
Okay, I know. This all sounds pretty scary, right? Almost hopeless. If the enemy's invisible, how in the world are we supposed to fight back? Well, here's the good news. It's not impossible. Not at all. We just have to, we have to learn to see our networks in a whole new light.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? How do you fight an enemy that is literally designed from the ground up to be invisible?
Well, the answer is you have to change your entire mindset. We have to stop acting like simple customs agents who just glance at a passport cover and stamp it approved. No, we have to become detectives. We've got to ignore the labels and instead start looking at the behavior of the traffic itself. We're looking for the little clues, the subtle hints that something is just off.
And these clues, they're like digital fingerprints that attackers can't help but leave behind. We can look at payload entropy, which is just a fancy way of asking, how random does the data inside this packet look? Super random data? Good chance it's encrypted. Or we can look at packet size patterns. Are we seeing a whole bunch of packets that are all the exact same, weird size? That's a red flag. Then there are timing anomalies, like a weirdly rhythmic, heartbeat-like pattern of communication. That's not normal. And the big one, of course, is blatant protocol misuse. Is your DNS protocol suddenly transferring huge files? Yeah, that's not what it's for. These are the telltale signs.
So all of this, it forces us into a whole new way of thinking about security. A philosophy that is, by necessity, way more critical,
way more skeptical, and, let's be honest, just a little bit paranoid.
This right here, this is the new reality. It's not black and white anymore. There's no such thing as good traffic and bad traffic at first glance. Every single packet that crosses your network has to be treated like a question mark. You have to start from zero trust, scrutinize everything. Because that clear line we thought existed between normal traffic and espionage, it's gone. It has completely disappeared.
And that really leaves us with just one final, pretty chilling thought. You know, the old threats, they were easy. They knocked on the front door. But these new threats, they're already inside the house, pretending to be one of the family. So the question you have to ask yourself now is, what's already hiding on your network?